I am Will Kayatin here at KVEC, live from the Holler production studio in Hazard, Kentucky on Friday, January 24th. Hard to believe, and
Yes, it is.
I'm joined by my distinguished colleague and friend. We've worked together for a lot of years, haven't
Yes, we
Bernadette?
have. A lot.
Had a lot of fun running the hills, doing continuous school improvement, among many other things. And so this is a special opportunity for me to sit down and have a short conversation with you, Bernadette, about the great work that we've been doing and the privilege that Dr. Rocky Wallace and I have already enjoyed this year in visiting many of the teachers in our region that are doing great work showcasing the special talents of their students. And so I wanted to just take a few minutes today to share with the teachers, because we've already been visiting teachers.
Yes.
In fact, Dr. Rocky Wallace this upcoming week is making a northeastern swing. We've kind of divided up the school districts because we have so many of them and so many teachers to visit, and we won't be able to visit everybody, but we're going to try our best. And of course, we have a goodly number of teachers this year who have had the special opportunity of receiving a transition innovation grant.
Yes, we're very fortunate.
Yes, we really are. And of course, having the privilege and luxury of sitting here with my friend and colleague, Bernadette Carpenter, formerly of McGoffin County, but we've been here at KVEC for many years together already.
Yes,
She's the queen of the Fire Summits, as you well know, and she is the queen of all these innovation grants for many, many years now. So we've had a lot of fun watching it grow and blossom.
It's been amazing.
It really has.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And that's why we have so many distinguished educators and leaders and visionaries throughout the world who are tuning in, watching the great work that we are doing. So I just thought it would be good for you teachers who will be visiting to know that Bernadette and I are on the same page.
Absolutely.
In fact, we used to share an office together.
We did.
And we're talking about the work that's going on, and Bernadette is not sending me out to check on you.
No, absolutely not. Will is coming just to see what you're doing, the evidence, but you may not have any evidence now. But it's not a checkup. It's not to check on you. It's just to see how it's going, to have those discussions with you, to see if maybe you have some questions, get some feedback. It's something that I do a lot with the Learning Innovation Grants, but I'm fortunate enough to have Will and Rocky to do some of this for me with the Transition Innovation Grants.
Yeah, so we're, as Rocky and I shared in our original video vignette that we sent out to you multiple times now. I'm sure you're tired of those emails. And forgive me when I make a little mistake. I'm starting to get old. I'm 54 now. So last night I was trying to send him a little note that, hey, we're gonna check in with you, and we'll make the invitation personal, even though I sent out a little mass note to all the teachers participating in the TIG grant work. And it sent without the content, and I had to send it again, and I hate getting duplicate emails. So please, my apologies. But Rocky and I are the professional reviewers and evaluators of this work. That doesn't mean that we're checking on the work per se, but it's important for us to gather information about the great work that you're doing, because what's going to happen as we move through the year and into the spring and summer, Dr. Wallace and I are going to transpose your great work into a publishable article, and it'll be featured in a scholarly journal. So that's part of what we're doing. So that being said, give some thought to questions like, how is this work going to impact the effectiveness of your instruction moving forward?
And as you know, when you wrote your grants, in there, it was based on action research. And, we said it's okay if you're seeing along the way that you're trying something and it's not working, then you can make changes. Of course, you have to let me know, and I'll have to get approval on that because we do have funders. And it's very important that we follow the rules for those funders and we gather the data that we need so we can get funded again, so we can give more money to you teachers, which is what we love to do because amazing things are happening. So, he's just helping gather some of your evidence, but it's something that we have to do in order to keep our funding, and by keeping our funding, that's helping you all. And I don't know about you, but I know about myself. If I've got somebody to talk to about it, or if I'm sending emails or someone's coming to see me, it kind of keeps me on track more, And we just want you to welcome Will and Rocky and know that they're only there to help, and like I said earlier, as you know, your grants are about research, and it's the research you're doing within your classroom or your school.
And you're all great teachers, and that's in part why you received this very special opportunity. So what we want to do is capture those wonderful things that you're doing so that we can share them with a national audience. And the second question to think about as we come to visit you is, how is this work that you're doing going to impact the success of your students and their achievement moving forward and transitioning through high school and into post-secondary education and the workforce? Those are really the two questions that you're going to be asked by us, and we'll have a relatively short conversation. You may want to show us some artifacts if they're available and handy, but again, we want to be flexible. We don't want to interrupt your workday. We don't want to disrupt any instruction, so just let us know what works best for you, and we'll do our best to make it work so that we can visit and you can share out about the great things that you're doing. And
actually, you have the answer to that question in your grant, because that was a question you had to answer. How will this impact my students when they try to transition into the real world, or when they do transition into the real world? So you actually have that answer. Now, I'm sure as you gather your information and you implement your project or your grant, that you'll learn more. You'll have more to say than what you had to say in the original application, because you're going to see how it's going to impact them even more. And you should be well underway by now. Everything should be ordered, and I know I've talked to a lot of you and I've received billing, so your materials should be there. If they're not, that needs to be gotten on right away, needs to be done. And also, you should be implemented, or really starting to implement, in order to have time to gather that data. But you should be pretty well along, because April 22nd is coming. That's our Spring Fire Summit. And everyone is required to come back and tell us how it went. How did what you chose to focus on, did that work? Do you feel like it helped the kids? What did the data tell you? So
that's perfect. Great. So Bernadette, thank you on this Friday. She and I were struggling a little bit. It's been a long week, a long day.
It has.
And hair and makeup quit us.
Yeah, so excuse us.
So, and it's a wet and rainy day, and so we're trying to muster up some energy to visit with you. But thank you for the privilege of letting us be your colleagues and work with you. And if you have nothing else to share, we will adjourn our short visit.
I just want to say how proud I am of all of you all, and I can't wait to see what your projects produce.
And we'll holler at you later.